Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have gotten quite a few new subscribers recently, so I really wanted to do a video so you guys can kind of get to know me better and just answer some fun questions that you guys might have about me. So I had you guys leave me some questions on Instagram and on my YouTube channel, and then I put together a list of some of the most asked questions and also some just fun ones to throw in there. And I'm really excited to answer them all for you guys today. The first question I'm going to start us off with today is, why did I start YouTube? Honestly, I'm not totally sure why I started YouTube. About a year and a half ago, I made a little time lapse of me doing my chalkboard like you guys have seen, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and it was kind of fun just to like post it somewhere and like see comments and stuff. So I just kind of tried making a sewing video because that's what I spend most of my time doing. And the first one I made was very difficult. It took me like a month to edit, and I struggled a lot with it. It was really difficult, but I kind of wanted to just keep trying it and see what would happen, and I eventually got better at editing, and it started becoming really fun just to like put this content together. And I really liked the fact that it allowed me to like take something that I already do and turn it into something that I can share with more people and make into tutorials, and it's just been really fun. The next question is, why is my channel and socials called PaperStxrs? Again, I don't really have a great answer for this one. I was like 13 years old and I was asking my brother Aston what I should name my socials, and he suggested the name PaperStxrs but replaced the A in stars with an X for some reason, and I thought it was kind of cool and fun, and I've just stuck with it ever since, and I just think it's kind of cute. Also, I don't think I've shared this before, but I actually keep a little jar on my desk, and it's full of little paper stars that I've made over the years, so I thought that was also kind of a cute connection to the name, because it's like a thing that if you make 1,000 little paper stars, you get to make a wish, I think. So I just started doing it a long time ago, and I've just kind of kept it up, and I have a few hundred in here now, so it's kind of fun. Now we're going to get into the very popular questions that I got, which are, why did I start sewing, when did I start sewing, and all that jazz. So I started sewing when I was probably about 5 years old, I want to say. My mom taught me how to hand sew, so I would try to make my own clothes all the time when I was little, and I would just like lay down and like trace shorts on myself or like try to make dresses out of my brother's shirts, and I just kind of stuck with it and kept doing it for a really long time. And I honestly don't know what age I started like machine sewing. The only memory I have like related to like sewing and my age was when I was really little. I was asking my mom for my own sewing machine, and she said that most kids don't start sewing until they are 10 years old. And I remember thinking that 10 years old was like so far away. And that's honestly like the only memory I have like related to like what age I started sewing. That's the best I can answer that question. A lot of people wanted to know like what my sewing background is and if I ever took sewing lessons, and the answer is I actually did start taking sewing lessons when I was probably about 12 years old, and at that point I was already sewing pretty regularly on a machine and stuff and making just little stuffed animals and whatnot, and those lessons were specifically learning how to work with patterns, which was something I had never done before at that point. But through those classes I kind of learned that I didn't like working from patterns a whole lot, and I found it a lot more fun and rewarding to kind of teach myself how to make my own clothes. And when I was 13, my parents bought me my first mannequin, and from there I kind of just started learning how to draft my own patterns and sew my own patterns. And although I was still learning how to sew from patterns, I was still sewing at home and making my own patterns and teaching myself how to draft at the same time. And that's really how I started sewing without a pattern, because I really haven't sewn with a pattern in probably like 5 years at least, because I just really love the extra creativity that I have when I make my own patterns, and I ended up just making stuff that I liked wearing more that was my own patterns than the stuff that I was making from commercial patterns. And that is not to say that everything that I started out making was good. Most of the stuff that I was making when I was 13 or 14 was really bad, and I was just really struggling. Because I am self-taught with pattern making, I was just making a lot of stuff all the time, and most of it was not turning out very well. And it took a very long time before I was able to start wearing my own clothes out. And that's of course something you guys didn't see, because now I'm able to make things that back then would not have turned out okay at all. And learning how to pattern make is really just practicing over and over and over again, and not getting discouraged if you make something that just completely doesn't turn out. If you cut something the wrong way and it's not fitting anymore, you just have to keep trying with it, because it's all just trial and error. A lot of you guys wanted to know if I am going to college and if I am specifically studying fashion design, and the answer is not yet. I go to a local community college right now, so I am taking college courses, and I'm working to transfer to a 4-year college so that I can major in fashion design. That is actually what I want to do and what I want to make a career out of. I'm not totally sure what the dream job scenario would be after college yet. I just know I really want to go study fashion and kind of see like what specific area I want to go into, but I know that I do want to make a job out of something that has to do with sewing and designing and see what I can do with that. I was also asked quite a bit what my age is. You guys should let me know like how old you thought I was, but I am 19 years old. I am still a teenager. I was also asked where I am from, and I am from the States. I live in California. I've lived in California all my life. I was also asked what my other hobbies are, and I actually have quite a few hobbies, and most of them are crafting related. That is what I spend most of my time doing. I was always that really crafty child who basically did anything I could get my little hands on. So I've tried knitting, crocheting, drawing, painting. I tried macrame at one point, weaving, sculpting, carving, needle felting, pretty much anything I could find as a child. But as for my hobbies that are not crafting related, I also play D&D. I have like 3 different campaigns going on with my friends right now, and it's really fun. We've been playing for like 2 years almost, I think. I also really like K-pop, so sometimes I will learn like K-pop dances in my free time. Kind of a silly hobby of mine, but I do think it's really fun. I do know quite a few dances actually. Some of my favorite K-pop groups are Weki Meki, Red Velvet, 17, ITZY. I've been really into Hyuna lately. Oh, and Luna. Luna's really good. I also really like playing video games. I think they're really fun. Some of my favorite video games are Animal Crossing. I am high-key obsessed with Animal Crossing. My island is at 5 stars and it's looking really good. So maybe when it's fully decorated, I'll do a little island tour if you guys want that. I also play a lot of Stardew Valley. Like Stardew Valley is like my game. I also like puzzle games a lot. I'm really into Professor Layton. And then I also play Overwatch like every night with my brother. It's like our little routine. It's really fun. Oh, and also Portal. I love Portal. Portal is so cool. And then my other hobby is like obsessing over my many pets that I have mentioned before. I love all my pets so much. And another question that I had was, what are all my pets' names and what other pets do I have? And I will try to go through them pretty quickly. I have 3 dogs. My little dog's name is Chloe. And then we also have another dog named Emmy. And then we have a new Doberman puppy in our house named Sophie. I also have a cat named Oreo that you guys have seen a few times. And then for chickens, I have my baby Yoshi, Spectacles, Chartreuse, Meep, Pipsqueak, and Toad, and Pokey. And then I also have 2 horses, which I don't think I've ever mentioned before, but yes, I have horses. I have one named Tinkerbell and one named Snickers. And I think that is it for all of my pets. I think this is my favorite question from the list. It is, how does your chicken Yoshi hold so much beauty and power? I need to know. And my answer is, I need to know as well. I don't know how she does, but she just does. Okay, getting back to sewing, the next one is, what is my favorite clothing item I have made? And then also, what is my favorite non-clothing item I have made? And I think my favorite clothing item is probably the second prom dress that I made out of my mini series of making 3 different prom dresses. I'm just so in love with it. It was so fun to wear and it's so pretty, and I think it just has to be my favorite. A close second though is probably my puff dress. That was also just a very fluffy one that I felt like a princess in. And for my favorite non-clothing item, it probably goes to this little sculpture I made a few years ago. It's a kiwi bird that I made out of CDs, and I don't know why, something about his personality is like really fun to me. I was kind of surprised, but a few of you guys wanted to know what was the first clothing item I actually ever made. And I think this is the first dress that I made that I still have. This one is a dress I draped on my mannequin when I was probably 13 or 14 years old. And I still really like it. I think it's a very pretty dress. It has a little sweetheart neckline, and then the zipper goes down the back, and it also is the straps, which I thought was pretty cool. And I actually used to wear this dress quite a bit, and I'm kind of sad it doesn't fit me anymore. I actually really like this question that I got, and it is, how do I combat wanting to make something that is beautiful versus something that I'll actually wear? And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but that is something I've had to get over this year, especially with making 3 different prom dresses for no reason. But that is something I used to have a really hard time with, and I felt like it was really holding back my designing capabilities because I wanted to make big gowns like this, but I was just like, I couldn't really justify it to myself spending money on it and stuff. And honestly, the real answer is that you guys kind of gave me a reason to do it. I can't say I know that I would be making these gowns that I've made this year if I wasn't making them for YouTube videos. And that's just one of the reasons why I really liked doing YouTube, is that it kind of gave me more of an excuse to do these kinds of things. But honestly, you really shouldn't need an excuse. I don't see what the problem is with making a big gown for no reason. Even though I might have spent $30 on the fabric, like the enjoyment that I got from making it is worth it to me, which, like I mentioned, took me a very long time to get over. But also finding cheaper places to buy my fabric from also made a really big difference, which allowed me to make these big dresses out of, you know, many yards of fabric without feeling really bad about spending all that money. And so now some of the places that I buy my fabric is locally from PaperStxrs or from Fabric Wholesale Direct. I mention them all the time. They're not sponsored or anything, but they are pretty cheap. so I have been able to just make more dresses this year. And then also buying sheets sometimes can be way cheaper and you get a ton of fabric for that. So if you're able to buy cheaper fabric, it does kind of take the pain away of making something just for funsies. But honestly, if you want to just make a big giant dress, just make a big giant dress. Like, it's worth it, guys. It is so fun to just make something that you can just dance around your house in, like, for no reason. I thought this question was just fun, and it is what is my favorite color. Right now I really love the color yellow and also pink. Those are my favorites. Where do I get my sewing inspiration? Usually that is from Pinterest. I'm on Pinterest quite a bit. I save a lot of clothes that I just think are interesting, or I like certain details on them, or I just want to make something kind of inspired by it. So I do get a lot of my inspiration from there. Who is your favorite brother? I would like to remain anonymous. Tian, you're not slick. I was asked what my favorite movie is, and this one is of course a Studio Ghibli movie, and I think that right now it's probably Howl's Moving Castle, but it does change pretty regularly. Castle in the Sky was a very close second. How much do I sew per week, and how do I sew projects so fast? That is something that definitely comes with practice. My sewing schedule is every weekend I start filming at about 2 o'clock, and I usually go until like 7 o'clock, or as far as I can get with the sunlight. And I start that from Friday to Sunday if I can. Sometimes I only get 2 days in. It really just depends, but I do spend like every single week sewing. Like right after this, I'm going to work on another project. I do sew a lot. I am sewing every single weekend whenever I get the chance, pretty much. What's my favorite breakfast food? I love pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes. But I actually don't usually eat them for breakfast. I eat them like any time of the day. Me and my brothers have a little tradition where we make chocolate chip pancakes and we watch whatever series we're currently into. We just finished rewatching the whole Code Lyoko series, and we just started Avatar, and we were all obsessed with it. It's so good. I haven't seen it in so long. The second to last question is, how do I balance my schedule with school, sewing projects, YouTube, and just life in general? And honestly, I am very, very busy, like all the time. I always have a project going on, or I'm always working on school. But usually from Monday to Thursday, I'm just doing schoolwork. I'm trying to finish everything. Sometimes I can finish up early on Wednesday, so I can start filming on Thursday, which is always really exciting. And then I film for YouTube on Friday through Sunday as much as I can. That's when I also work on my sewing project, so it's a 2-for-1. And then I actually edit my YouTube video throughout the week, usually starting from like 11 at night until like 1 in the morning. And then I make time for like seeing friends or just doing other things, and I hang out with my family throughout the week a lot. So yeah, I'm very busy and I do my best to balance everything, but it does get a little overwhelming sometimes. And the very last question I'm answering is, do I have any advice for beginners who want to start sewing? And the best advice I can give you is just to keep practicing, don't give up, don't be afraid to make stuff that looks ugly or is bad or just does not turn out at all, and try again and try to see where you can improve it and make it better. And even though those projects that you messed up might seem like a total waste of time, you always learn something from them. Even when I mess up now, like, it's always a learning process. Just always keep going and just keep trying things that are new. I always have people commenting on my videos like, I really want to try this tutorial, but I think it's just out of my technical range. But just give it a shot anyway. Buy some cheap fabric and just give it a go and see what you can learn from it and see what you can get out of it, and just have fun. Okay, I think those are all the questions I'm going to be answering for you guys today. I really hope you guys liked this. I had fun just looking through all the questions and seeing what you guys wanted to know, and I hope that maybe you guys know me a little bit better now. And I just wanted to thank you guys all so much for 25,000 subscribers. That is a crazy amount. I literally cannot believe that there's that many people who are watching my content, and I'm just really grateful for all of you guys. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!